Hey there guys, what's going on? I've been hearing some whispers about a certain gun in this game for a little while now. Something that used to be super broken but was eventually nerfed into the ground. This gun was actually able to kill from so far away that it had a tendency to make people violently ill. Like, some of the shots that you used to be able to hit were actually disgusting, that people would have returned their copy of Modern Warfare back to their local game store before they even had a chance to ask them if it was cash or card. I'm serious, this thing was truly broken, and I'm sure it took about a month to be nerfed. But apparently, and don't say this too loudly, but apparently the 725 is broken again. I've actually been wondering this myself, like why people had been running around with the 725 again and they were always running it with the sawed-off barrel. Like, it didn't really make sense of it, but now it certainly does. Apparently there's a bug which basically means that the 725 is pretty much, it's not as good as it used to be, but it's definitely sort of close to how it was pre-nerf. I am serious. This thing is super busted again, but before we do get into our class setup here and talk a little bit more about how broken the 725 is again, let's try and get this video to 5 likes. The support has been absolutely wonderful recently. Like, it is hard to put into words how I do feel about all these new faces around, watching my videos, liking them, subscribing and stuff like that, talking to me about Call of Duty. So make sure you do subscribe if you are new around here so you don't miss any more of my videos, because we've got some good stuff coming up. So I'd actually been thinking, like, why had everyone been using the 725 again, but why were they also using it with the sawed-off barrel? Like, it just looks strange. Like, surely you'd just be using some of the range extending attachments, but I'm pretty sure that's where the bug lies. Like, I believe that they only really nerfed the range extending attachments when they took a look at the 725 initially, leaving the other options mostly untouched. So with the right attachments and class setup, I'm pretty sure we can do some seriously mean things to people again. So let's talk about our class here. So for this, like I said, we'll need a class setup. So we've put together this. Our sidearm is the 50 GS Desert Eagle, just in case we need that little bit more range. Normally I'd use the 357 Snake Shot, but I actually don't think that we need two broken shotguns in the same class. So we've set up the Deagle like this, with the monolithic suppressor, the enforcer barrel, the tac laser, the 13 round magazine, and the lightweight trigger. This is the best Deagle setup available, and it can do some serious work. Like, one-shot headshots are amazing with this. Next, our perks are EOD, so we don't die immediately to a C4. We'll die to the second one instead. Perk 2 is Kill Chain, because racking up those streaks off other streaks is the most satisfying thing in this game, I swear. And lastly, Perk 3 is Battle Hardened, so we avoid being Stevie Wondered by anyone with the cowardice to throw a flashbang at me. My lethal and tactical are the C4 and the Stim Shot. Next, we have our primary here. Here it is. This thing is a problem. Like, this thing is absolutely dumb again. So we'll start off with the muzzle here. Instead of the monolithic suppressor like we used to run, we've got the choke attachment here, which does give us that tighter pellet spread and damage range. This does slightly reduce our aim down sight speed, but this isn't really much of a negative, as we can fix this up with some of the other attachments. The choke is the best option we can go with as of now. As I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure that was the range extending attachment, so stuff like the monolithic suppressor that actually got nerfed, so I think this one may have missed the nerf bat. Like, this is probably going to get nerfed again at some point if this becomes too popular. I mean, I am directly contributing to that growth of its popularity, but we need the content, boys. We've got to do this for the content. Next to the barrel, which I believe is the real culprit here. According to what I've read, this is the barrel now. The sawed-off barrel gives us that aim down sight speed, movement speed, and a wider pellet spread, which in reality you wouldn't really want a wider pellet spread, but in combination with the choke, it seems to balance itself out nicely. This option also reduces our recoil control, which isn't really relevant, and reduces our damage range. But again, you'll see that in the gameplay in the background, we're still hitting those nasty shots from unreasonably far away. Like, I can't believe I didn't notice or at least try this out earlier. I guess I'd moved on from the 725 session, but now, if this doesn't get changed, I'm going to have to be, like, struggling not to use this thing. In the laser slot, we of course have the 5 milliwatt laser option. We could of course run the 1 milliwatt laser option as well, just for that sprint to fire speed and no visible laser. But I feel like with the 725 at the moment, you need that hip fire accuracy, you need that spread to be as sort of tight as possible with that sprint to fire speed. You do have to worry about hiding that laser, but you can normally get away with it, especially if you're being really, really aggressive sprinting around places. People usually won't notice the laser too much. Plus, if you're really concerned about hiding it, you just sort of aim it at the doorway where you think someone's going to come through, and then just sort of flick across when they get there. In the perk slot, of course, we're running that sleight of hand. This is pretty important here. Like, this is one of those attachments that you really do need. Like the gun, even if it is broken, still does only have 2 shots, so you definitely need this to help you reload as fast as possible. You can't really live without this on this gun. I guess fully loaded would be also another option if you're planning on going super long streaks, but I definitely prefer sleight of hand, faster reloading. It'll definitely save your life more often than having those extra shells will. And lastly, in the guard slot, we've got the Forge Tac Steady Grip, which is basically the stipple grip tape for this gun. It's in the same slot, so aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed are really important bonuses to have for a shotgun. It's really hard to go past this. It's like there's nothing else that you can really put in this slot that is better than this, so this is must have again, I believe. So this is the full class setup for the 725. It is back, baby, and I'm sure everyone who isn't me just collectively groaned with disappointment. But trust me, guys, try it out, lads. It's super powerful again, and you can actually make some people really, really upset like you used to. I'm going to let the rest of this game play out because we haven't really been talking about this class for very long. Thank you so much for watching this one, guys. I do appreciate that. I can't wait to see even more of you sweaty nerds running around with this, making people very upset, including myself. Good luck, dudes. If you did enjoy this one, and it did help you out at all, make sure you do leave a like and do subscribe if you are new around here. It very much helps me out, and I very much appreciate it. Only takes 2 clicks to make my day. I will see you in the next one, guys. Bye!
Allied cluster strike inbound. UAV overhead. Securing Alpha.
Enemy at the restaurant.
Friendly UAV overhead. On Alpha, stand by. Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Enemy at the back alley. Enemy at the pole vault.
Hostiles at Charlie, go.
Settles the score a bit.
Enemy at the restaurant.
Losing B.
Setting a claymore.